Stumbling around like a hungover teenager in need of a Bloody Mary, Klopp and his men are unrecognisable compared to the team of last season. The contrast with last season could hardly be starker as the jubilant Manchester United, Brighton, all of that fans made their way to the exits after Liverpool games. Liverpool supporters prepared themselves for a long, painful wait in silence. In press conferences, Jurgen Klopp wore the look of a man being told to expect roadworks on his way home, while the demeanours of opposition managers have been jubilant. Teams seem to be climbing and Liverpool seems to be falling. Questions are mounting from the men of Anfield. If the opening day games were a blip, what's the issue with Liverpool still dropping points to teams like Brighton at home? This is Liverpool's worst start to a campaign in a decade, and one which must cast serious doubt over their ability to challenge for a Premier League title, as they so recently done. And yet it kind of seems like that could already be over. And why are they shocking so much? First of all, you've got to consider the injuries. Kelleher, Ramsey, Konate, Matip, Curtis Jones, Thiago, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Katie Gordon, Diego Jota, Darwin Núñez have all been missing. Not a bad team. Good enough to beat plenty of Premier League teams, you'd probably say. That is a Liverpool XI made of players who have been sidelined. No wonder the squad looks a little bare right now. Of course, Núñez's absence was self-inflicted, but it's not surprising that the manager spoke about a witch in the building at Kirkby. Little more than a fortnight into the campaign, his options have been definited. The absence of Thiago in particular has been keenly felt. The Spaniard, when fit, seems to return team's rhythm and tempo and has creatively and passing range to open up even the best organised defence. Jota too has been missed for Liverpool, and while Núñez was suspended and Firmino was struggling, Liverpool only had teenager Fabio Carvalho in an attacking sense to turn off to the bench for their options, where the likes of Sepp Vandenberg, Nat Phillips, Bobby Clark, Harvey Davis, Stefan Banchik were among substitutes. Jota and Jones were back in training by the end of the match, but Keita was latest to fall on Sunday for a now set on the sidelines, as well as Thiago, Matip, Konate have been out for a while, Oxlade-Chamberlain even longer than that in fact. In the meantime, Klopp crosses his fingers and hopes nobody else slips up. Another issue is the midfield. You tell me, what kind of player are we missing? One who is offensive, 1.95 metres and a rising to box and heads balls in. What do you want? The golden cow is that producing absolutely everything, milk as well. That was Klopp speaking at the start of July when asked by a group of journalists whether he felt Liverpool needs to bring in a new midfield. He was unequivocal then. No need, he said. The last thing he would have crossed his mind was strengthening in that area. 6 weeks on, and that chance has stained at all with Arthur coming in, but he even seems to not to be considered a key player by Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool take pride in the fact they don't sign players for the sake of it, and they just do it when they've hunted a long-term target. But it shows, like in this case, desperation that they've had to do it. Another key issue was slow starts. It doesn't take a genius to work out that if you don't win football matches, then giving an opposition a 1-goal head start isn't a great start. Yet that's essentially what Liverpool have been doing, conceding first in each of their last 7 league games and having to fight their way back. The sluggish starts are alarming, especially away from home, and Klopp criticised the attitude of players as early as the first game of the season, and we've seen it plenty of times, even most recently against Brighton over the weekend. The key men as well. For all the talk of injury crisis and need of a new signing, it shouldn't be ignored that several of Liverpool's star players have looked well short of their best so far. Van Dijk, for example, has not been anything like his normal self. He's been rattled by strikers such as Mitrovic, stood off Jadon Sancho for the opening goal against Manchester United. The Dutchman isn't the only one out of sorts. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been terrified by United players. He's been criticised for his defensive play. Alisson Becker is allowing goals too easily past him. Roberto Firmino has looked a shadow of the player we know he can be. Fabinho has been left on the bench in games. Andy Robertson's out injured. There's no question that a new arrival would help things, but regardless of the situation, first and foremost, Klopp needs his key men to rediscover the form. And there's the issue of the missing Mane. This player that was so key to them, built around him in a way. This certainly looks to be the case with Liverpool following the departure of Sadio Mane. His blend of dynamicism, physicality and mentality made him nigh on possible to replace directly, hence why Liverpool chose to go down a different route with the signing of Darwin Núñez, number 9, in theory offer of a more natural focal point in attack. Núñez should be fine at Liverpool. He's a good player who will will undoubtedly improve, but his moment of recklessness against Crystal Palace was poorly timed, and with Jota unavailable, Klopp has little wriggle room in terms of selection or indeed changing the game from the bench. With that, he would be a little bit of Mane Steele missing, and Klopp and his players would dismiss the idea, but one suspects, but you have to wonder how much last season, with its highs and lows, its relentlessly intensity, its heartbreaking conclusion took out of Liverpool. It would be understandable, inevitable even, that there was some kind of hangover. When you dig deep for so long, 63 games, all of them vital, many of them on a knife edge, it can't be easy to simply dust yourself off and go again, however driven, however fit and professional you are. For all of the glory last season, the season ended in pain for the Reds. They missed out on 2 prizes they wanted more than any other, and while a post-season trophy parade in the city may have lifted spirits, they would not be human if they weren't feeling those losses. They only dropped 22 points in the whole of last season, but they've let 7, even more now, slip through the season, and they can't afford anymore. The flip side is that if any side has shown itself capable of dragging itself out of the hole and putting a run together in recent years, it's most definitely Liverpool. Sometimes you feel it, the sense that everyone's on edge, just waiting for something to go wrong and that something isn't right. It feels like that's Liverpool at the moment. They've been happy for so long, but they're not happy now. They're arguing who's on the pitch. The manager is talking about a witch curse, and stories are emerging about players wanting to leave. The fans should be worried, terrified of the idea that a wonderful era could pass, and Man City, with Haaland banging in hat-tricks all the time, could just take it too far a step ahead of them. Of course, the sense of perspective is needed. It's only been a few games, and there's still a long way to go, but it's definitely been a bad start, and they need to start getting consistent wins together and fast. Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below, follow us for daily football news, and subscribe to our channel on the screen. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.